What's up, everybody? Welcome to TA Talk. I am Army Piper with my ever last minute slide in co-host here, OC guy, bro. What is up, man? How you doing?
Not much, just fixing some stuff in here. But other than that, doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. Had a great morning show. Bitcoin hit $45,000 yesterday on the Coinbase exchange. A little bit lower than that on some of the other ones. We're going to be taking a look at the charts today, seeing what indicators were there. Did you give us that setup? OC and I were talking about it last Friday, actually, of a $45,000 Bitcoin volume. Is it whose volume is low? I am not sure. But I have got it cranked all the way up. So you might have to check on your end if you've got it turned down in your user settings. Go under voice and video, and then you can check what your output is there. But I have everything turned all the way up on here. So this is the same volume push that I was doing yesterday. So let me check one other thing here. Maybe, nope, yep, it's all the same. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. OC, you had a Bitcoin setup going on the class yesterday, I believe. So let's go ahead and push it over to you, and let's see what you got. Yeah, everyone else is saying that it's fine. So you might want to check your volume on your end, Omo. Just go into your settings there, check your voice and audio, and then you can check and see if you've got that turned all the way up or not on your system there. So OC, let's kick it over to you, and let's take a look at your chart and see what you got that you're looking at, okay?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I want to take a look at is that what happened in yesterday's class. Not to replay everything, we have two calls very much playing out. We have the engine one where we could be seeing right here during the TA talk yesterday or the class yesterday. It actually played out. So I did jump into a short. We're gonna be taking a look at that entry. Remember, this is not financial advice, but we try to get you where are those points of entries and exits. But for Bitcoin, yesterday we were talking about maybe overextending a little bit on here. But one quick question. I am hearing myself, but I have muted everything. Maybe is that going back to me through the ecam?
No, yeah, it's coming at you through the eCam. You can mute yourself, but you should be mute your sound system because you should be hearing me through eCam. So mute your. That's what the same reason I get the echo from you when I'm on yours. So
Let me even hang out here. Oh yeah, it seems like. Oh, don't worry, that's fine. I just mute this one and then put it back on. Let me just give it just 1 second. But yeah, that happens sometimes. All right, definitely right here, browser, and for some reason
I mute you personally. Your actual voice I mute. So
I don't
you
know
got to
what's
mute
happening.
me on.
All right,
You
that's fine. That's
you've got
fine.
to.
I just lower the
Okay.
volume,
Okay.
and that'll be fixing the thing. All right, so what's happening here? It is basically that we have Bitcoin going all the way up here. Remember that we're looking at this zone to maybe start acting on that bearish divergence that we had going on there. I know there's a ton of lines, so bear with me here. We're going to be also cleaning up the charts. So the first thing that I'm going to be looking at it is where is my dynamic reactor. So let me turn everything off. My dynamic reactor is coming up here on the 4 hour. All right, so what I am expecting as before, it's a little bit of that movement to start oscillating before we have that retracement. Why? Because let's take a look at what has happened on the dynamic reactor after we see those big movements. Like, look at that. We make that movement, we oscillate for a little bit, we make that little dynamic reactor come, or that space for that dynamic reactor come near to the price, and then we do the next movement, and then we repeat over and over. So we rinse and repeat, right? So this is exactly what I'm expecting at this point. And I can start setting up where could that be happening. So let me clear this up and let me add a couple of more tools. I'm going to get started with my multi-time frame support and resistance here. Just take a look at what my settings are. Remember, you should be looking at yours, but this is mine just for a reference point. I have local, which is the most immediate range where I can find those support and resistances, and I have it on chart, which is whatever chart I have here. I have up to 5. Then the next one is disable and on chart. So let's add it as extended or midterm, and also add those 5 there. So let's wait for that little eye to start moving. And as you can see, we have another repeated lining here. So those colors are gonna be for the most immediate ones are gonna be green and red, and the other ones yellow. So that will be basically most of it. And then also adding this premium and discount zones, and also my predictive ranges down here. So I'm going to click OK and wait for those predictive ranges to happen. So making that push, but I'm not able to break yet. I need to see what's happening on my oscillator. Remember, as long as we are above the dynamic reactor, there's one bullish for that point for bullish. And then as I break above that zero line, there's another point of bullish. And to finalize my prime score, or after I have configured my trend mode, the candle color that I have going on in there. So what I'm seeing is that I could be making that little range in there and see where is this a ribbon might be flipping. This is what I'm looking for. Look at how it barely flips and then flips back. So it flips up and flips back. So right, so that's what I'm expecting here to see. What am I going to be doing? And I will try to reposition myself based on this oscillator to see whether I do make a new re-entry down here, or I wait for a breakthrough retest and off we go. Remember that I also have this other line here. So if I make a big breakthrough, I could be looking at that retrace and then a continuation for where my big support is, along with my purple line. Remember, these lines in here that Piper explained on Monday and Tuesday, those are predictive. So that means that we are looking to start oscillating or ranging, most importantly, between the golden lines and then between a golden line and any other line. So far, we are within this two lines. So we need to wait for that breakthrough to happen and then wait for that retest. So that's what I got going on right now on Bitcoin Piper. I would like to throw it back to you and see what also you got there. And whenever we have chance, I would love to go over the screener that we have and call out those shots that we did yesterday.
Yeah, I'm actually making a couple of changes to my chart right now. So go ahead and go over the screener, and then I'm going to be going through some of these altcoins. I want to take a look at Matic today and ADA. Guys, let us know in the chat there what you would like us to take a look at on TA Talks today, and we will do so. But for those that are asking, yes, this class is being recorded, and this will be sent to OC, and it will be posted later on. So yeah, go ahead and start with the screener there, OC, and then I'll have my charts ready to go. I had to make a couple of changes to what chart system I was using. So
Perfect. You can throw it back to me here. I'm going to be saving this one because, as you can see, this is my video, which is the one that I use on YouTube Live for the Piper Academy. And in here, we are using the strategy ribbon, and we are migrating it to the Prime Chart Prime Pro. So let's go to the strategy ribbon. That is just a code name for when we're practicing on these indicators as before the launch of the new indicator. So the first thing that I do have here are my order blocks. So let me start removing those just so we have a cleaner view, and also go over my prime screener. If you don't know where your prime screener is, it should be under indicators, invite only script, and then you look for your prime screener. Just click it once. Once you click it, then you see it is popping up here. If you have your roll down or your rollout diamond or arrow here, you might just be seeing this little number increase. All right, so it doesn't give you a confirmation. That's on TradingView site, but let's turn it on and see what we got. So remember, guys, this is your screener. This is what we take a tap on and what we look for. So if you want me to add any ticker here, let me know right here on the side chat, on the live chat, so we can take a look at that one. So IMX will be nice. All right, we can take that for the next asset. In the meantime, we already have gone over BTC. Let's take a look at Sol. So over Sol, let's jump on Sol, and also ENJ, Ethereum, and PIT. All right, so Solana. Here we go. I promise not to use the market cap one, so let's not use that one. All right. So for Solana, I did not enter on the trade that we were calling yesterday, and that was called on the previous setting here. So let me open up here this one and go over this one and do the Solana trade here. And Piper, whenever you're ready and want to take over, just let me know, and I'll just throw it back to you.
Yeah, I'm good whenever you're ready, bro. Just finish up that, and then I'm going to be taking a look at IMX, and then we got AVAX. So I'll take IMX, and then you can do AVAX after you get done with the screener piece.
Perfect, absolutely. So this is the trade that we were looking at here. Full disclosure, this is the only trade that I did not jump in because this week was moving too fast in here. But remember, we were looking for that flip of the ribbon down in here at support. And as you can see, let me remove all of my spaghetti here. We are trading between that golden line and the next upcoming line. Also, very important, we have a pattern here and upraising channel here that we are just kind of like a teasing to break through the upside. So right now, the big support will be number 3 right down here. And also, let me clarify what happened on this trade. So as you can see, we were hoping for this zone to be the base and bounce. As you also saw, it happened just a little bit below as we jump between this resistance and the golden line on predictive ranges. But for by the way, guys, if you don't know what your predictive ranges are, they are inside of Market Dynamics Pro and enable predictive ranges under predictive ranges right below the multi-time frame support and resistance. So we went right there with the previous high zones, all right, with a smart target and the premium zone was. So we make a wick. That wick was too fast for me to hold, and right after that, I'm not chasing after the trade. I also see I have a bearish divergence, and the next opportunity that I might be having will be breaking through, going for that dynamic reactor, and also be looking for that flip of the ribbon as it happened like this, all right, or as it breaks down like that. So my flip of the ribbon will be defining where is my gonna be. It's my next entry gonna be. So I'm looking at big support and also flip of the ribbon. If I break through and then also break through, I'm gonna be looking for that one to make a retest and off we go. So that is the updated sold trade. I want to throw it back to you, Piper, and then when you're finished, I'll just explain the other ones that we did enter.
Fantastic. Sounds good, bro. Let's go ahead and take a look what I'm seeing here on the charts. Looking at IMX at request of who was it here that asked for that? That would be EC Now. Taking a look at IMX right now, looking at the 1 hour on Binance. This is versus Tether.USDT. Let's see here. We got a liquidity zone rejections that happened here multiple times, folks. You can see the 100%, which is the highest, the strongest of the liquidity zones, wicked back up into it there and then dropped down. That was the last time that we had any type of bullish structure going on here. We are actually right now sitting below the dynamic reactor, and it looks like we are now retesting the lower liquidity zone here. That is also a 100%, which means it's a very strong liquidity zone. We are rejecting on that right now. I would be watching right now closely, though, on the oscillator. We do have that ribbon twist that's coming in, getting that little pinch right there going on the oscillator pro suite here, and it looks like it may do a little pump up here and then turn back to get actually down into that full bullish zone at the bottom there, because this is going to be a pretty decent zone for it to continue its downside going there. You can see that the trend is only sitting at a 3 on the prime score, which means that it's not a very strong trend. But the fact that we have broken this liquidity zone and are now sitting below the dynamic reactor does give me bearish sentiment. Trend assistant also triggered red there to the downside. We are sitting low on the RSI primed, and we are sitting low on the signal line for the Ichimoku oscillator, both free indicators. By the way, you can get to those by going into indicators, typing in chart prime, all one word, and you'll see it right here. Pull it up. It's going to be up towards the top for the first one. RSI prime is going to be the second one on there. And if you go down lower, you'll see Ichimoku oscillator with divergences. So I like to use these because they give me some good confluence of where we're actually at on the RSI and on the signal line. So while this does look like we are getting set up for bullishness, it does look like we could have potentially some more downside on IMX. What I would watch for is this for the bearish and bullish scenario. Let's go ahead and let's say that we are going to go and get this rejection. It does play out and we get more downside. Watch for us to be coming down to that delta line on the predictive ranges. If we bring this in here and show you, we have been playing between these ranges for a while. This is going to be all the way back here on the 23rd of October when we got above this. We still have not made it to the top trade line of the predictive ranges there yet. So I would be watching for it to come down and test that delta as support. on IMX looking at the 1 hour. Let's jump over to the 4 hour just to see what we're seeing here. And let's get that picture going. On the 4 hour, guys, we are still looking at the dynamic reactor being below us, which means we are what? Bullish or bearish? Let us know in the chat, guys. Are we bullish or bearish when we are above the dynamic reactor? Bullish. That is correct. EC Now's got it. Who else got it? There we go. Bulls. Aaron got bulls. Yeah, guys, if you take a look at where that is going to be lying for that delta line there, it's going to be falling right in there on the J Bravo trampoline, as he calls it, which is actually called the dynamic reactor, and that is going to be where I look for us to pull back to if we do continue to the downside. Looking here at the oscillator ribbon here, you can see that it still has that over 45-degree angle to the downside, hitting into that zone, and we still have some room to move on the 4 hour to get down here into that below that 30% range on the RSI prime, still angling downward on the Ichimoku. So on the 4 hour, I do see that we could be coming back down to that delta line, that median blue line of the predictive ranges, overlapping for confluence right at the dynamic reactor. OC, let's kick it back over to you, and you can take out AVAX.
Perfect. All right. So I have AVAX going on here. So far it seems like we had a breakthrough. As you can see, and let me show you guys, we had a rising wedge here, a rising channel. It seems more to me like it's a rising channel. So we have that beautiful breakthrough on that zone. So remember that how do we expect a retest or not? That comes to a little trick that I do. So bear with me in this little trick. I'm going to be showing it very, very quickly. What I do is as soon as we have a breakthrough, I look for that vertex in here and I wait on that one. So if you don't have enough information, don't worry, go to the previous vertex here and make sure you have a little square in there. All right. So what are we looking for is to make a little 45-degree angle line here. So what's happening with that line on that ribbon? Is it above or below my 45-degree angle line? If it's above that 45-degree angle line, I am not expecting a pullback, or if I'm expecting a pullback, will be kind of like this, a fast weak action for a pullback. So as you can see, we are very, very far from that 45-degree angle line. Remember, it's on the vertex because I need a little bit more information on that, and I am not expecting a pullback. So I enter right on the breakthrough. So let me remove that. What's happening here? It seems that we are having a symmetrical bullish flagging here. So we do have a reversal. That reversals, guys, it's not telling you that we are completely changing of phase or completely changing of trend. As you can see, the reversals are meant to be giving you immediate short-term reactions to some support or resistance zones. All right, so we have a beautiful reversal there. That reversal gave us the warning on, hey, we are retracing here in what's happening with the oscillator. That is it. So I'm gonna be preparing in case whatever happens in the zone. So I'm looking for a little range, and that range is gonna be somewhere around those lines. How can I tell? Because of this wick and this wick, and also because I have my premium zone up there, and also I can start throwing in, and I don't know, oh yeah, I see why. And then I can start throwing, like for example, in here, my prime ranges and my prime trend assistance. It's gonna get a little bit cloudy, so let me start removing a couple of other stuff. Here we go. And as you can see, and let me remove most of the things, I do have going as support my prime range in here, and at the top my other prime range. So I'm using those to figure out where could I be bouncing, or as soon as I have a breakthrough one of those, I'm looking for the next target to be hit. All right. So far, if you're looking for a bullish entry, because we're bullish, just like Piper mentioned, we are above the dynamic reactor and we are above that zero line. So we are bullish. So this little range, this little flag has an expiration date. And where's that expiration date? As we find flip of the ribbon. Bitcoin will also be nice. All right, sure, we can take a look at that up next. But so far, that's what I got on AVAX, Piper. Only just to make sure that I have everything here. My big support it's in here. So if I have a break through this line, I'm looking at my next possible entry or updating my analysis at this zone.
Sweet. Nice, bro. Yeah, I do actually. I'll look at VET in a second, but I actually had polka dot already pulled up. Because if you guys may recall, last week we talked about this trade. We did it on Piper Academy on the show, and then I think we also talked about it in one of the classes that next morning or right after that. So we also have requests for TMC and A Gold according to ZTS Rhythm. So appreciate that, ZTS. We'll take a look at those also. Let me go ahead and put a little TMC as a stock. Got it. Got it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Polkadot. OC, you pull up VET, and then I'll pull up TMC when I get done with Polkadot, and then we'll just go back and forth. We're just going to pass it off. Anyway, guys, we were talking about this here. I said, look, we're getting all this bounce here, all this action off of this dynamic reactor. It's getting shorter and shorter how many times we are going, how far beneath it we're dropping here. And we had a nice trend line that I drew on here to show you guys that. We also had the top one here, and we were in this symmetric triangle. When we broke it here, I was talking about the ranges that we were shooting for on the target here, and I actually had a predictive or Fibonacci's on here, and I was showing the golden pocket. Well, we broke all of that. You can see we had a lot of play here on the upper trade band because a lot of times we trade right here between these two cycles on predictive ranges. I've got mine set on the 12-hour, and I leave it there. No matter what I'm on, I like to look at the 4-hour chart with the 12-hour predictive ranges, and it plays out beautifully for me. So we got up here. You can see we had multiple touches of resistance and rejection. We have now finally broke it. We're now above that upper resistance band, guys. I am actually going to be watching that this possibly makes it up to the frame here at $6.44. This is a continuing run up on Polkadot, looking very bullish still. However, when we take a look down here in the RSI, we are getting a little overbought here, a lot overbought. We're all the way up in the 86.9, 87% range there. And we do have a lot of blocks of overbought up here. We did get this downtrend, which looks like it played out on a wick and then continued up. Bulls are in control of the price action right now on this, guys. So if you're going to do anything with shorts on this, make sure you set tight stop losses. The RSI chart, yeah. So this RSI down here is RSI primed. All it is doing here is, let me bring it up here. It's turning the RSI signal line into candles. And there's a couple of different versions here that I want to show you. You have the one that everyone else uses, candlesticks with patterns, and you can see that it will actually turn these candlesticks and read patterns and give you engulfing reversals. If we go ahead and drop this down here, you'll see that when we had these before, let's stretch you out. There we go. We had the engulfing down here, right there on that point, and it said reversal. We got that. We also had one here. Did not play out exactly, came down a little bit further, but then ended up playing out. And then we have one here, right there, that said engulfing down to the downside, hit support and bounced again. So a lot of times these do play out. They're pretty good. This one here gave us an engulfing candlestick pattern down here, which is a bearish pattern again. That's why it's red on here, but it went sideways. I personally, though, like to use the Heikenashis, and let me show you why on that. Let's get all these brush marks off here again. And then I'll show you why I use the Heikenashi version on this. And only use the Heikenashis, in my opinion, guys. Don't use Heikenashi up here at all. It's going to mess with your algorithm of how Chart Prime reads data, because an Heikenashi candle is not a true candle. A true candle has a body, a wick for its high, a wick for its low, or a candle close at the low, and then the open and close of the body, right? There is no, none of that exists in a Heikenashi candle. A Heikenashi candle is a whole bunch of averaging and smoothing in that candle body. So it is not a true candle. You do not want to use that when you're trying to use the algorithm of any indicators. And if you ever see anybody using Heikenashi candles to show the power of their indicators, they're giving you false data they're manipulating what it looks like and what their signals are. So don't ever do that. But on the RSI Prime, there is a reason to do it. And you can do it if you're not using indicators. Obviously, for regular candlesticks up here, you can use Heikenashi because they'll do the same thing, but not if you're using an indicator that reads data. You're getting false data. Bad data in means bad data out, right? But on the RSI Prime, what you'll see is let me show you here. Bring this up, and we'll talk about it for a real fast second. When you start to see these wicks coming off the top, this means that it's pulling back on the average, which means that it's losing its momentum up, and so these averages are reading that there's a possible reversal coming, and then you get it right, just like we had big wicks here, and then it pulled back up immediately. When you see them though with no wicking going on, that is a very strong movement on the chart. So if I look here and I see that point that I just showed you where there was no wicking at all on these candles, look at that run up that we had there. Just like here, we kept getting wicking, but they were small wicks. We continued running up. When I start to see it get closed and you see these candles getting shorter, like right here, the candles are getting shorter and shorter and starting around, that means that you're either going sideways or you're going to drop. Just like here, it got really tight, really small candles, and then it came back down. Gives you a little forewarning on what price action may be doing with reversal, and that is the RSI Prime. I hope that answered your question there. Polkadot, again, I do think that we have more upside coming here. You can see that the candles are not getting any thinner. They're not getting any more squat or flatter, and we are still getting upside movement, even though we are way, way over bought over here. So watching for that price target again, $6.44. If you're going to set a short at any point in here, use a tight stop loss because the bullish movement is stronger than the bearish movement, and pullbacks are very small, where the run ups, the pumps are much greater. So there you go. Yes, learn day by day. Exactly. That is the goal here, because Mario Yo, knowledge is profit, and the more that you know, the more profit you can make. So that's what I got for Polkadot. Do you have the next asset? I think it's VET, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up TMC OC.
Perfect. Yes, I also have pulled Eagle afterwards. So we have that bouncing system there. So, all right, let's take a look at vetting here. So let's also, first, before we move ahead, let's take a look at what has happened in our previous prediction. All right. So it seems like we did have that breakthrough, that V-shaped recovery here. And look at that. Our prediction or our analysis was a little bit like even 3 steps ahead on a bouncing here. Remember what we were waiting for. This is an FOR, all right? So you can see in here that as we were expecting an FOR, or whenever that FOR was happening, we were engaging again. So what happens here? We do not have the FOR, we have a breakthrough, all right? So what do we do? And this is an amazing and important part of the learning step on whether you're gonna be waiting for that retest or you are not. All right. Let me zoom in. So we see him breaking through this zone. All right. Breaking through that dynamic reactor. Sorry. So through that zero line. So we take a look at our boxing here. Remember, from the last vertex, we make a little boxing here, and we drive or we draw a 45-degree angle line. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of that spaghetti so we can see it better here. And remember, we are breaking through that zero line. And what's happening is it above, below, or at that 45-degree angle line. So it seems like we are fairly above. So are we waiting or are we not waiting for a pullback or retest? Guys, let me know. Yeah, Mexican spaghetti, Eric Willen. Yes. So guys, are we waiting or are we not waiting for that pullback based on the box of the 45-degree line there?
By the way,
So we
OC,
are not.
according to my son, that's called Mexquetti.
Oh, Mexicati. Nice.
Mexican.
Let's do that. Mexican spaghetti. Yeah. So we are not waiting for a pullback because the 45-degree angle line, it's below the ribbon. All right. So as you can see, do we have that pullback? Yes, slightly, very fast, and then boom, exploding to where we have that flip of the ribbon with that OB. So going back down to big support. All right. Now that we know that, let's remove this and head over to the next stepping here. What I want to take a look at right now is a perfect example where I can start drawing my little house on my head and shoulder lines in here. So what I want to grab is basically a couple of supports and resistance here, all right? But most likely or most within those resistance here, and I want to see when I start losing the parity on that rhythm that I have, or maybe making a low and then not reaching the estimated target. All right. So at this point, seems like I'm doing pretty good on that trend line, and I'm seeing a ton of bearishness in here. Also, the cloud is compacting, so right now it's time to for me to start adding a couple of more stuff to see where can I be maxing out, and also where I could be bouncing from. So far I'm in a premium zone and in a number nine. Let's see, maybe this is overkill. Oh yeah, this is overkill. Let's do 5 4, also 4, and let's take that up to 6. Yep. So let me remove that. Here we go. So it seems like the next resistance is all the way up here. So we are basically on uncharted territory for the given range. All right. At that point, we can start adding something else, like maybe some predictive tools. Those predictive tools could be, in this case, here we go, predictive ranges. I don't change this, but I do know that Piper likes to change theirs instead of chart. If I'm not mistaken, you use 12 hours, right?
12 hour. Yep, that's what I use. Guys, you can set this up. You don't have to set it to chart. You don't have to set the 12 hour. What you want to do is put this onto the chart in the time frame that you look at until you see that price action playing a lot in between those two gold bands. If you can highlight those real fast, OC of the gold bands there, so that people can see them. But yeah, that's what you want to set yours to. And I like to use it on the 12 hour because I see a lot of play in between the two golden trade bands on a 4 hour chart. That's what I do. All of this is like a buffet. You can pick and manipulate till it fits what you look at for your strategy. And then once you get it set, and that is what you use for your strategy, follow it, follow your rules. That's the key to success there in trading. So
Absolutely. Thank you for that pitching, because that is very, very important. Remember, guys, that the best way to get your maximum profitability is do it your way, not my way, not Piper's way. And we are here to guide you through what we have experience on. And then you need to diverge and look what it works the best for you. So yeah, at this point, it seems like I am right against this line. And also I'm seeing a little curvature on that dynamic reactor. What I'm looking for is something like that. All right, that will define if I move that, if I break through or not. And that is what I'm looking for. So right now I'm on a waiting zone. If I did not enter on that flip of the ribbon, on that breakthrough, on that retest, well, then it is not right now the place to start chasing after a long. Not in my strategy. This is not financial advice, guys. So what I want to see is to make or to see it breaking through. I have the purple line here going for that retest, and off we go. Are we going to be having that retest? Well, when we're breaking through, if we do, I need to go and do my next vertex, maybe somewhere around here, all right? Because this is my next low vertex here. And I don't know why it just did not click it. So in this case, do I have higher or lower than that 45-degree? It seems like it's below that 45-degree. So if I keep moving up, I believe I will be having that retest. But also, that is a strong indication that I could be having a fake out. So far, any questions on VeChain before we move on? Let me know. And when you're ready, Piper, just take on the next asset.
yeah, I actually want to show something real fast, and then I'm going to go into TMC. So yesterday we were telling you guys that OC and I were going to be doing a one-on-one with Jenna X, and she will be coming into some of these TA talks in the future under a different name. I will not give away the name, but she wants to stay incognito because she gets trolled, or not trolled, but she gets harassed so much, and people send her spam and everything else. So, but we did a sit down with her yesterday, and she entered into a trade based on OC and I's teachings that we gave her. We both ran through a bunch of strategies with chart prime indicators. I want to share this with you guys. Let me get in there. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. So this is the trade setup that she was looking at yesterday based on after OC and I sat down with her. And she had a buy indicator that was triggered down here. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong one. She had a divergence. That's what it was. There was a divergence down here that had printed. We had the uptrend on the RSI prime. She was watching her MACD and saw this little signal bounce line here on her MACD. And then she saw that this started to get some price up here and was leveling off on this previous support area right here. Where it had been rejected, resistance, and it was now starting to level off above it. And so she went with the strategy. She was looking at all the indicators, the bullish divergence. She did her little box trick down here on the RSI prime so that she could see that this was greater than a 45 degree angle. And then she entered a trade. Guys, it ended up absolutely taking off through this all the way up through there. She took all this profit. She had a target with the T box. She put it one of TA Tim's T boxes that I like to use on there for her take profit. And then she started to see the overbought and everything and closed it out. On that trade, she ended up making about I want to say it was something like 41% profit on that trade. So shout out to her on that. And OC, good job, bro. We nailed the trading training with her that we were doing. So she's still crushing it over there and loving these. Her comment on Twitter on X was that these indicators are like cheating. So it's like cheating. So yeah, I just wanted to give a little update because yesterday we told everybody we were going to do that train up with her, and I wanted them to see the results. It did really well. So taking a look here at TMC by request. This is the metals company. This is a stock. They are a mining company for precious metals, just so you know, not a mining company for crypto. I want to make that clear. But yeah, looking at this right now, guys, we did have a buy indicator that popped back here on November 3rd. We were in the platinum pocket if we look at coming down from top to bottom on this. And it broke out of there, went up. We did get all the way up to the top here with a first take profit, second take profit, and now it looks like we are on a downside move coming back down. If we look at where we just got the bounce, though, it's going to be that 50% line on the fibs. Ironically enough, also where the trend assistant is at. We are now, though, printing a new trend assistant because we actually did break that a little bit. I would be watching for an entry coming in at any point if you're looking at this from a DCA perspective, because a lot of stock traders, stock people are. But if you're trading options, again, an entry for a long would be on that 50% line, which is going to be right in line with your dynamic reactor. We are getting a squeeze down here on the oscillator cloud, and we are starting to get a ribbon twist there. And it does look like we are trying to break the zero line on the RSI prime. However, keep tracking this, that the signal line on the Ichimoku oscillator is yellow, could be transitioning to red, but it could also be bouncing on the zero line here, which would be a bullish move. If we go back and look at when we came down before, we've had times where it turned yellow before it went red on the signal line. And then there's also one back here where I think we had a little upside move. Yep, we did there. There was a little quick pump up before it continued down. So keep an eye on that. There is some bearishness on the chart right now. I would be looking for that 50% at $1.11 for an entry. If we do continue to the upside, watch that trend assistant line, guys. Up there, it is red, sitting right there at the 236. Would be a prime spot to see a rejection on this for a short or to take your profit if you are currently holding this in a long right now as is. So that's what I got for TMC. Yes, it is being recorded, TL. Thank you, B83JP, for letting him know that. And yeah, so OC, you got another asset to pull up? Let's kick it back over to you.
Absolutely. I want to bring up the call that we just did yesterday, and I want you guys to notice that I have two shorts opening here. One, let me explain you what happened. So first of all, let's go over when we predicted that movement, Piper and I, and then how it played out. So if you're not following us on Twitter, you should, because we give you updated information when, by the way, Bitcoin was breaking 45,000 that Piper also predicted here. So you can go check out his prediction right here. He's saying it at the minimum 1932, and also what the thumbnail of that YouTube video looks like. So you should be following us on Twitter because we share what is happening, what we're doing at that moment. All right, so let's jump into that engine because we can learn a lot about here. Remember, guys, it is not about perfection, all right? It is about being above that 50%. So what happened here? My zone here was taken. So I entered on a trading there. And also, guys, let me remind you here, as we call the ENJ trade, and also a small flash short. All right. So I knew that be coming back on me. Now taking some out with a stop loss and entry. All right. Look at the timing here. Perfect. Then what happened on that ANG? It went back down and it flicked up. You see that? So remember, my stop loss was already at entry. What happened, guys? Did I win or did I lost in that trade? Let me know on this. Where is it? The chat. Here we go. Let me know. Did I win or did I lose on that trade? That first trade here. So I won money. Why? Because as this one moved up and then it started rising or going down, I took some profits and moved my stop to entry. This is risk management. All right. So yeah, perfect. Yeah, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm preventing this volatility to be basically ruining my trading day because I know that it's a thing, especially on the crypto market. That's why I move my stop to entry. As I see it pumping and then retracing and closing below, again, below my entry point, I decided to open a new trading here. Also, look at how well it went down here. So as I see not touching my resistance, my supporting here, and then moving up, I decided to close this trade in here. So despite we are bullish, very, very bullish, all right, I can take advantage of those little movements. That is a very risky and fast acting trade. So this is not beginner friendly. If you feel like you already have the skills to start going against the trend, this is not financial advice, but you should be doing with low leverage, low entries, being fast at it. Do not unglue your eyes out of the screen, set your alarms, set your alerts, all right, and get ready to act fast. And very importantly, move your stop to entry. Like 5%. And as always, use a stop loss, right? So let me just wrap it up with
Absolutely.
vetting here. Yeah, sorry. So Eagle here. And these lines are very important. Let me show you where those lines are. Those lines are part of my market dynamics, bro, and they are my swing levels. I love to see these lines for bigger movements. So swing entries, whether I'm on 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 minutes, 12 hours, 4 hours, or whatever time frame. Because no matter what time frame you have, you could be doing swing trading or scalping on any time frame. All right. So based on those movements, look at how beautiful we're having that price being cased. So as I approximate to this dotted line, this dashed line, guys, what am I looking here? What does this stands for and what am I looking? Let me know in the side chat here. So as we get those answers there, let me also pull up a couple of support and resistance. Flip of the ribbon. Yes, flip of the ribbon. So I'm looking at flip of the ribbon. So let's now use the power of confluence to see, to pinpoint where that could be happening. So it could be happening right now. All right. So you only need the confirmation of flip of the ribbon and break through the number one resistance in here. All right. Or it could be happening more likely within this channel. What am I calling that channel? Look at this dotted line, how it prolongs all the way in here. Look at my equilibrium zone. All right. Look at this other support and look at where is that dynamic reactor coming in. All right. So where can I find everything colliding within this channel that I have here? So that will be my next entry zone as I flip up the ribbon. Remember, the flip of the ribbon, wherever it happened, not because I draw it here, it means that it's going to happen there. It could be happening here, it could be happening here, it could be happening here. So wherever it happens, I'm waiting only for that confirmation to start rethinking or reanalyzing my entries. So far, I'm missing something because I do want to enter on EGLD, and that is adding my alerts. So I'm going to be adding some alerts where I will be close enough with that entry zone, but also I have enough time to come back into the charts, do a quick analysis, and reconsider if I'm willing to enter on that zone. So far down here, and so far also up here. Why? Because from the get-go, I see that I could be ranging here. That's why I have those alarm sets. In fact, let me throw down that one and pull this one up a little bit higher here. So that was gonna be for EGLD. Piper, I would like to throw it back to you, or also if you have something to tell me about this one, I would gladly
No,
hear it.
yeah, I did see in the chat there that it wasn't E gold; it was A gold. I have it pulled up, so I'm going to drop into that in a second, and I will do that. TA. But I do want to address EC now. Eknal. He said, "I wouldn't consider myself a new trader, but would you recommend starting with only a certain number of assets?" Not financial advice. Me personally, I've been trading for a while, a hot minute, and I still only look at a certain number of assets. Why? Because I have become intimately familiar with their behavior. Price action has a behavior. And there are people that have been in here a long time in this community that have watched me sitting here at night way back in the day. Why we telling people, now watch, it's going to start going sideways here for about the next 6 minutes, and then it's going to move up again. And I was watching 1 minute candles. And that was how intimately familiar I was with the movement of Bitcoin. And it went sideways for 6 minutes and then bounced off. And 30 from support was like, what just happened? Are you controlling the price candles here? Like, no, it's just because I've gotten very used to the behavior of what's going on with candles. Like I've seen this before. It's when you have an animal, a dog, and you know that when he starts to get a certain mannerism, or his head comes down low or whatever, his ears perk a certain way, what's coming, right? It's because you hung out with your dog a lot, right? If you have less assets that you're constantly looking at, you don't need to catch every trade. You only need to catch really good trades. And you're going to get that from doing technical analysis over and over on a small group of like 10 tokens, really getting it down pat on what they do, how they move, and knowing, hey, when I see this, it's probably going to grind sideways. I'm going to look for a breakout of this consolidation point now. So that is my personal way. I just want if you think that having more is great or having less is great, then go do your thing, do your own research. But that's just how I approach it. Even with years of experience in trading, I still only look at about 10 assets. So, Steve, you got any input on that?
Yes, I do. Like again, not financial advice, and everything that Piper said. That's basically the same thing that I will be repeating. But in that case, I will also be adding a little bit more instead of repeating everything. So, what I do in not financial advice, I kept myself between 6 assets. That's what I have came with to my wallet size to be the most profitable because I don't want to risk more that I can maybe be losing. All right. So because remember, we are all humans, and at some points we're gonna be not be so happy with our analysis. Right. So we need to prevent anything that could be going wrong. In my case, I felt comfortable trading on the 4 hour that gave me enough time to perform quality analysis on up to 6 assets. And also, the size of my wallet would let me not to risk that many 3%, all right, 3%, 3%, 3%, if I get those 6 assets at the same time. Also, very important when you're looking to get maybe important assets and not financial advice. What I do is not looking for the assets that will move in the same direction. Remember, that's why we have a stop loss. So do not put all of your eggs on the same basket or on the same category because, like, for example, if one of those assets moves up, that usually means the rest of these assets are going to be moving up. And you aim for a short, all of your trades are going to get stopped out. All right. So look for the best possible scenario for a long, and then also look for the best possible scenario for a short. That way, I mean, they both could be playing out despite whatever the market structure is, because each asset might be directed into a different flank of that market. So again, not
Excellent. Yeah.
financial advice, but that was
Yeah. Go
that
ahead.
was basically it. Yep,
Okay. Mario Yo said 3% with DCA or 3%, and every DCA is another 3% added to it. And I think what they're asking is that a static DCA? I'm not sure what your question is there, but there is yeah. So I look, this is what I do with my DCA because I have hodl bags and I have trade bags. With my DCA, what I do is I will go in if it's If it's like smaller percentage at first, if it pulls down more, I'll go in with a little bit more percentage, because the lower it is, the more I want on there for that next rise up. But that's how I do it. I know people that do the same set amount regardless of what's going on. I kind of do a weighted entry. If it's lower, if it keeps going down lower, I'll add more. So I might do like 1% normal of my dry powder in, but as it goes down, I'll go 2% or 3% or 4%. It's just really depending on what's going on. So for buying back, yeah. If I'm really confident in a coin, obviously I'm going to go in with a little bit more weight on it, Mario. So, and then you're answering the question for Gimposai. I see there. That's good. Yep. So not all of them are recorded, but if there is stuff that comes out that's super relevant, then yeah, we'll get them. But as OC said, we are working on uploading as many as we can. So we're trying to get a lot of class history for you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at A Gold. If you guys have any more questions, we'll address them all. We got about 6 minutes left, so I'm going to do this, and then we will focus on any questions that you guys have just on strategy and psychology. Drop them here in the chat, and we'll get with you guys. Let's go ahead and jump over and check out Adventure Gold. So taking a look at Adventure Gold here, folks, you can see that we literally had a double top. We had a top back here. Oh, let's get a drawing going there. Thank you. There we go. We had a top back here, and we just hit it again. We had a 100% strength, which is a very strong liquidity zone. We came up there. You see we had the strong buy signal down here. We had take profit 1, take profit 2. That take profit 2 actually closed on the candle before that big wick. So it was pretty much there. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people probably got out of this on that pullback, 50% retracement of that candle, and then saw this, jump back in thinking that it was going to keep going up, and then got wrecked and trapped there. So it looks like that liquidity trap worked. That bull trap there worked on the liquidity grab, and then down it comes. I would be watching right now. If we take a look, we still have very strong Heikin-Ashi candles. I do believe that this is probably going to be coming back down to the upper trade band here at 94.6 cents. But keep watching, because right here you have about a 50% strength of a liquidity zone overlapping perfectly right here with another liquidity zone and a dynamic reactor. That box area is going to be about 90 cents there for that area to get into. I would suspect that this is going to break here. You see, it seems to do this cycle. Again, behaviors, right? This is what we talked about. In this sideways range, we have a cycle of behavior going on here. It would make sense to see this come down and break through that trend assistant and get back to that 90-cent range. Don't have too sharp of a 40, we're not breaking the 45-degree angle here on this. On this ribbon here, but it's not getting anything close to a twist yet. Watch the zero line for a bounce. But if you're just wanting to sit on it and wait, RSI does look like continuation down, and we do have the Ichimoku signal line pushing down again, 90 cents for your long entry. And then you can set a nice tight. You can set a nice tight stop loss on that and feel pretty safe about that trade entry. So. What is the indicator in the last row? That is the Ichimoku oscillator by Chart Prime, bro. Go in here, type one word, Chart Prime, and then scroll down. You'll see it right there, Ichimoku oscillator with divergences. I love using it. It just gives me extra confluence on top of everything else that I have going here with Chart Prime. Let me check one more thing here on the oscillators. I just want to see how we're looking for any green candles on the oscillator for the MVP. We are getting some green there, so be careful. We may not see it reach all the way down to that 90% based on just that. Last time that we had this, there was a little bit more downside. We started it here. There was a little more downside of green candles, but when these print, it's typically giving you guys a good indication of bottoming. But here again, a little bit more downside. So this could be coming down and catching that trend line. But if it does break that 90-cent mark is what I'm looking at. That trend assistant coming in at 99.4. So there you go. Hope that helped you out on the Adventure Gold. What is your take on logarithmic settings? I do not like logarithmic. I like it to be the true setup, although on higher time frames like monthly, I'll look at logarithmic for that. But I don't like using logarithmic on what for my trading charts. Like if I go over here and show you guys this my Bitcoin. This is my long-term Bitcoin chart. There you go, Eric Wallen. You knew I'd get it in here somehow. I actually do run this chart on a logarithmic because I'm using horizontal or fib channels. But yeah, overall, on lower time frames, you can see here, I'm not on logarithmic at all. I do not like logarithmic for my trade. I want to see the actual true movement, not a truncated algorithmic movement. So I run it on full normal on lower time frames for trading, and logarithmic when I'm looking at like monthly and weekly charts. So what other questions we got? Let's get these out. We got about 2 minutes so we can answer some more questions and try to get these out for you guys. David B. Is that the Brumbolo? Is that the Brumbolo in here? I'm curious if that's David Brumbolo. I typically keep 3 to 6 trades going, all charted on the 4 hour, but I look at all time frames, compare and verify. 100%, guys. David Brumbelow in the house. The Brumble in the jungle is in here. Shout out to you, man. I'm glad to see you in here, bro. You are awesome asset for the space out there, and it's cool to see you in this class right now. That makes me very happy. Depending on the strength and distance to be traveled in the upcoming move, which then determines how much leverage I use. I set my final limit close and stop loss, and then I add in 2 middle ground take profits. Very smart strategy there, guys. That is a very smart strategy. So, can you use the Oracle Pro for small time frames? Bro, you can use our indicators all the way down to 30 seconds with success. It just depends on your strategy. There is no best time frame that these indicators work on, and they are going to read the data as the data comes. There is no difference between a 4 hour and a 1 minute. The data is still reading candles. If it reads 10 candles back, it's going to read 10 candles back on a 1 minute chart also. So not a problem if that is what you prefer. Again, do your research, run your strategy, back test it, back test it, back test it, paper trade it, make sure that you set up rules for it, and then follow your own rules. It's discipline and patience. So what else we got in here? Do you guys have a video on creating strategies? Well, if you go to the Chart Prime YouTube channel, there are several strategies that I have in there: the Piper Sniper, the reversal strategy, the fib strategy, the fib retracement strategy, the oscillator strategy. I've got a bunch in there. Further's going to get the link. Anytime that you see something with a strategy, though, on there, they're usually done by me. So, no, actually, the Piper Sniper is not my favorite. It's one of my most proven strategies, but my most favorite strategy is got to be my Fibonacci retracement strategy. It's a very, very strong strategy. So a lot of things in there that you guys can catch, though. ZTS Rhythm just dropped the link there for the Chart Prime YouTube. And then also, if you follow us on Piper Academy, the show that OC and I do every morning together on the Piper Academy YouTube channel, we show strategies on there all the time too, just during our TA. So ZTS Rhythm, drop that link. There we go. That is OC guys link right there. That is OC's links right there for his classes, for Prime public classes. So these are recordings of other classes that we've done. And then ZTS Rhythm is getting ready to drop to you guys Piper Academy. And that will be for the channel that OC and I go on every morning. David Brumbelow getting ready to drop another message here, see what he has to say. And then I think we'll wrap it up and hop out of here.
Like, by the way, I do have a video, a very long video on how to build up a strategy that we built together, the 3-layer strategy. I go piece by piece on explaining every single part of the indicators. Just bear in mind that this video was created a long time ago based on a different organization of the same indicator. So you're gonna be me talking about the what is it? I think smart money concepts, which now it's part or it's located inside the market dynamics pro. So if you want to know exactly how I build a strategy piece by piece, I explain it on this video on Monday's Chart Prime class. Again, couple of names might be switching, but I explain you what everything does and then what I find useful and how I add one tool in front of another to come up with a strategy. So it is a 3-layer strategy, 3 points of confluence for a breakout, and then you can use it to build up any other strategy that you want to. So yeah,
Awesome.
just take a look at that Monday's class.
Awesome. EC Now said a wonderful, great value for the money in Chart Prime. I absolutely agree. That's why I stuck around here so long. I started out just like you as a monthly sign up, and then moved in. Showed up one day, knocked on the door, and said, "Can I sit here for a minute?" And they said, "Yeah, we want a drink of water." And then I said, "Yeah, let me grab my suitcases." Guys, thanks for joining us here today. It's always a pleasure to see new people in here, and it's always a great time to just hang out with the community here and teach you guys everything that we can teach you. Thanks for joining us today on TA Talks. Thank you for always being my sidekick, man. Always being my co-host and riding shotgun with me, bro. It's great doing this with you, and I love this community. I love all of you guys, dudes. Trade safe. You got a lot of volatility could be happening this month, so make sure that you guys are setting your rules and following your rules. And then that's going to be what happens. What goes forward is you're protected. You're got your shields up. You got your stop losses set, and we're all going to just do great things together. So, guys, thanks for joining us. We will catch you guys. Actually, OC will catch you tomorrow morning on Piper Academy, and then he'll be here for classes. I'm going to be going on vacation for about 12, 13 days, something like that. Gotta take the family out for some vacating, go get some catch up time for personal health. Sometimes it's nice to go touch grass. So, guys, trade safe, stay primed, and as always, use a stop loss.